Okay, continuing on with Remembrance of the Cousin. Um, we watched a movie together in my living room when we were kids, sitting on the floor, uh, watching the TV. Uh, yeah, this is one of the first. This probably is the first movie we saw together. Yeah, one of our parents, I think, probably rented it from the video store. Transformers the movie. That was uh that was pretty exciting at the time. So yeah, we both liked watching the show, Transformers show, and we collected the action figure toys. Really, really fun toy to have. Uh, they were colorful. Well, the cartoons were colorful, and the toy was colorful, and it was a really fun toy for a kid. Um, just like having this toy, and you move the parts, and sometimes just figuring out just the challenge of figuring out how to do it. Um, Not as bad as a Rubik's cube, but just sometimes with a challenge, just figuring out, okay, this robot, you move these parts on here, trying not to break them, and he needs to transform into um, usually vehicles. So usually like a car. So moving these parts and making this robot transform into a vehicle. So that was fun playing with those Transformers, and it was fun watching the movie. Although some of the Transformers died in the movie. That was sad. Um, Here's an interesting story. There were these. Uh, my first home as a kid back in the 80s. Um, we lived almost like right next to the river, the Mississippi River. Um, we lived on Front Street, and we had railroad tracks in front of our house. And then on the other side of the railroad tracks, there was like this little industrial area. I don't remember what it was exactly, but there were these large white like tanks. Um, I don't know what they were, what was in them. Maybe like some kind of uh, liquid or gas was being stored in these large tanks. There was a couple of them, and like maybe two or three. So they were on the other side of these tracks, and there was this fenced area blocking the before you get to it. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a fence because it was like a no trespassing. There was a no trespassing sign. Um, so me and my cousin, we were, I guess, just exploring, and well, I guess he decided that we were going to do this, and I was hesitant. So we were walking over there, uh, across the railroad tracks to the fence that was blocking these large white tanks. Um, so he wanted us to go over the fence, to climb up on these large white tank things. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to get in trouble. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. And but he was kind of bargaining with me. He said, if we go over the fence, I'll let you have one of my transformers. It was I remember the exact one. It was one of the Dinobots, um, the one that transformed into a Tyrannosaurus. I think his name was Grimlock. So that was kind of a very enticing, kind of hard to pass up that deal to get a free Transformer and one that I really liked. Because most kids like dinosaurs, don't they? And a Tyrannosaurus, isn't that everyone's favorite dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex? So I really wanted that toy, and so he was going to give me this toy if we trespassed in this area. So apparently there wasn't any no workers around that area, so nobody saw us, which is surprising. So I agreed to do the trespassing here because I really wanted that toy. That was a good deal, I felt at the time. So we climbed over this fence and we walked up to these one of these big white tank things. Um, well, I took photos of them uh, recently, but let's see if I can estimate the size. Because so me and him were like maybe 5, 6, 7 around. So we were just little kids. But I guess so. They were probably like they were bigger than a house. They were taller than a house. So maybe like at least my house. So maybe like twice the size of a house, or like a house and a half, possibly. So they were pretty big, especially for us being kids. So kind of a big deal. And, so they had these um, like a stairway that kind of spiraled up the side of the big white tanker thing, and they didn't they didn't seem very safe to be climbing on. Um, so probably not a good idea to do this. So we climbed up the stairway and we got to the top. So it's kind of fun doing this, climbing up there and walking around on top of this big white tanker thing. And uh, I just, I, there was like, I remember there was this like there was a circular, like a lid, like a size of like a manhole cover. And I remember opening the lid and a lot of air was rushing out. So I don't know how safe it was uh, to breathe in this air, but this air was rushing out. So I don't know what it was. So then we just closed it again. So that's pretty much all there was up there. It was wasn't much else to see. Probably in kind of in a hurry to get back down because not wanting to get caught. But we did get caught. I think um, I think my sister saw us up there and was yelling for us to get back down. So we got back down. We climbed back down the big white tanker thing. It was a very dangerous thing to do because we could have fell, could have broke something. So don't recommend doing that. Sometimes trespassing signs aren't very effective, apparently. Um, but nobody got hurt, so that's the main thing. And then I got a free transformer out of the deal, so that was nice. But unfortunately, it got broken, so that was that made me very angry. Somehow, I guess I was leaving laying around on the floor, and somehow somebody put the vacuum cleaner on it, and it was this kind of, I guess, like an old-fashioned kind of vacuum cleaner. It wasn't an upright one. It was like a long, uh, like a horizontal one. Uh, so it was like long like that, and it just sat on the floor, and it had a hose coming out of it. So that's what this vacuum cleaner was. And someone had set this vacuum cleaner on the transformer and broke his arm off or something. So that made me angry. Climbed up on that white tanker thing and for nothing. Didn't even get a transformer out of it. Well, I did, but then it got broken, so that was very disappointing. Poor Grimlock.